Good morning. You've already been welcomed to day 88. It's 7:15 and I'm just getting started. It isn't currently raining, but they're calling for rain all day. It rained a little bit last night, so I just got the mindset that I'm going to get wet. And I'm going to have to deal with it because, as you know, I can't zero at the shelter. If there's anybody with the Susquehanna AT Club, or you know somebody, this privy for Peters Mountain Shelter is at capacity and is in desperate need of emptying. I mean, it's 8 or 10 inches from the seat, so I did not use it. I dug a cat hole several feet behind the privy. So, porcupines. I did not know much about porcupines before last night. I mean, obviously I knew what one looked like. Don't know that I'd ever seen one in person, but I have now. So at 2 o'clock I was awakened by the sound of something scratching on the shelter, and I'd seen Early Roger's video last year when he was awakened by a porcupine gnawing right on the edge of the floor, so I figured that's what it was right when I heard it. So, and I got up, and it did not care a bit about me being there. It didn't like it when I shine my light on it. It would get quiet, or if somebody in the shelter stepped around, which I was the only one up trying to do something about it. There's one guy right on top of it where it was chewing, and he was sleeping right through it, which was, it just amazed me what some people can sleep through. He woke up this morning and said that he heard it and he just blocked it out of his mind, went back to sleep. I wish I could do stuff like that. I was laying there and trying to figure out what I could do to get it to stop and go away. And I thought if I just had a long stick, I could kind of poke at it and get it to go away. Sorry, all you animal lovers. I certainly wasn't going to try to hurt it, but I wanted to go back to sleep. And then I remembered there was a broom handle, or a broom, and I could use the broom handle to maybe discourage it. And as you saw in the video, it stopped, but it went up between the joists where I couldn't get to it, and it started again. And then finally it moved over on the center pylon, and it finally went away. And I went back to sleep about 3. I'd been messing with it for about 45 minutes when finally tree fall upstairs woke up and said, "What is that?" I said, "No, it's a porcupine eating shelter." But I did get to sleep between 3 and 5:30. So today I'm doing 18 miles to Rauch Gap shelter. My biggest concern for the day is going to be the rain. And hopefully there will be no lightning or high winds. And there isn't a shelter between here and there, so if a storm does come up, I won't have any place to go. So we'll just hope for the best. Alright, I'm going uphill, so that's going to be it for this morning. This is Reboot, heading north. One thing I forgot to mention about porcupines If you want to see something really funny, go to YouTube and search for Family Feud porcupine. And I know a lot of people don't like Steve Harvey and his reaction to what the guy says is way over the top, but if you can tolerate that, you'll get some entertainment out of it. You'll thank me later. Now I'm just like all the other YouTube Appalachian Trail through hike vloggers. I've seen the orange newt, salamander, lizard. I see this on everybody's video. Yeah. I've seen a lot of different kinds of footbridges, but this is the first footbridge I've seen made out of one piece of stone. And I thought that was pretty cool. I thought about the work that it must have taken the maintainers to get that big stone up on top of those other two stones on each end. Quite a project. It's 1:30 and I'm right at a mile away from Rauch Gap shelter where I'm staying tonight. The trail, it's been raining on me most of the day, and the trail is just standing water. And my feet are wet, but I don't have water sloshing around in my shoes, so I'm trying to stay to the sides as best as I can, but sometimes it's challenging. No wind in sight. Oh, maybe it's getting a little better now. I will say that this section of trail between Peters Mountain Shelter and Rauch Gap Shelter, or Rausch, however you say it, it's a pretty flat, unobstructed section of trail. When there's not standing water in it, you could make some good time under the right conditions, which I have made some good time. It's 17.5, I think, between the shelters. I'm almost there. And ideally I'd like to go on, but the next shelter is 13 miles. And I'm not going to try to do a 31-mile day, because we know what happens when I try to do big miles. Something bad happens, so I'm gonna suck it up and get in the shelter in here and change into some dry clothes. Well, I've made it to Rauch Gap shelter, and I'm the only one here, the first one here. It's kind of a neat setup, certainly a different design for a shelter. It's got this dugout area with rock Steps going into it. Built in 2012. And here's the spring right in front of the shelter, which some of the comments on gut hooks said that it was unreliable, but with all this rain we've been having, it's not going to be a problem today. Alright, I'm going to get settled in and claim a spot. This is going to be the wrap up for day 88. It's 7:30, getting ready to go to bed. You may be able to hear it's still raining. So I'm glad I've been in the shelter all afternoon. And hopefully have a good night here without a porcupine. And hit it again tomorrow. So since I'm in the shelter and dry and made it here without any lightning today, I want to say it's all good in the woods.